So good morning. Thank you for agreeing to hold this interview with us today. If for the record you could state your full name, your country of birth, and your full date of birth as well, please.
Well, I was born in Jamaica, and my full name is Elvira Landell. My date of birth, 1931.
Okay, so in which district in Jamaica were you born?
I was born in Portland and then removed to Kingston. And then there where I grew up, and then left from Kingston and came here to England.
Alright, so how many were there in your family then? How many children? Were you an only child, or did you have brothers and sisters?
I've got two brothers and 4 sisters. 2 died, 2 is alive. Yeah.
That's your sisters?
Sisters,
right.
But my brothers are still alive.
Okay. So what was your family life like then, growing up?
Well, it was a happy family, you know. Mother and father take care of us and look after us. You know, we grow up as a loving, happy family, well-disciplined family in the district in which I belonged. And everybody around the village respected the family. Yes, we grew up in church first thing. Yeah. Goes to Sunday school and it's still in me.
What denomination were you?
I'm a Pentecostal, apostolic, yeah.
So you've had religion in your life since?
From I was born, yeah.
Did that make any great impressions on you as a child, growing up in a religious family?
Well, it does, because things that you will see other children will do, outrageous. We growing up into a Christian family, it governs you when you have self-discipline and grow up respected.
So was that the usual thing in the village, where most of the families from a religious background?
Well, you wouldn't find everybody, but most people there, they send their children to church and to Sunday school, you know, but it's not everybody really who would say, give over their entire life to the Lord. Yeah.
Did you find that kind of religious stability when you came to England?
Well, it was still in me when I came here to my husband. The first thing I asked for is a church, you know, and owing to the fact that my religion, the church that I used to, is church that worship God, you know. We sing and clap and praise God. So I was looking for a church like that until eventually I met upon a vicar, you know, one of a Jamaican, and he invited me to where they were keeping service, and I went. And there I continued until I get baptized and continuing now for 40 years.
So that's a long time to be
yes, I'm here for 42 years. I came here in 1958, the 16th day of April.
So you remember it well.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your school life. What was it like at school?
Well, my school life was quite all right. I went to straightforward from A class right up to 6th standard, and go to elementary school, you know, and get educational background at school. You know.
How old were you when you went to elementary school? What age is that?
I went to school when I was 7. You know, in the West Indies, children doesn't go to school until you go to private school, but to go to you say real school, you go when you're 7 years old. Yeah.
Was that fine?
Oh yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine.
What subjects did you
Good
enjoy?
teacher.
Good
Huh?
teachers.
Yes, good teachers.
In what way were they good?
Because they teaches you, you know, they teaches you good history, geography, composition, maths, English, science, and all those things.
So you say you would you learnt a lot.
I learned a lot from them.
What did you learn about England?
Well, when I was growing up in Jamaica, we heard, because at that time, England, Jamaica was under England, you know, so we always heard that England is our mother country. And we were growing up, and when the time comes for people to immigrate from Jamaica to England, it was really a blessing. And people started to immigrate to England, of which everybody that get the chance to come, always looking forward to come to England.
What did they think they would expect when they got to England?
Well, I don't know what people expect, but I know what I did expect. When I came, I did expect to see more things. When I say more things, I thought England was more, you know, a place where it was, say, much better than Jamaica. Because we know that Jamaica is a poor country, and people get the chance to come here, you come to better your life. But when I came here, there were no jobs. No jobs. We walk, a friend of mine, we travel every day to different factories, hospitals, in those areas. We couldn't get a job. Till eventually, in 1960, I got a job. My first job was at the Infirmary Hospital in Wolverhampton, where I started to work there. And I worked there for a considerable time until I took ill. And then I had to leave the job. Then I got another job at the die casting. And there I worked until I were very ill. So the doctor eventually had to stop me from working because I couldn't cope any longer. So I started to do church work. Yeah.
Oh, do you mind saying what was wrong? What was the illness?
Well, my illness was I had a slip disc, and then I, you know, with the children, I just couldn't cope again to work because I was really ill. I was working at the factory where I used to work in slurry water, and then I was swollen. So the doctor says it's no good, you know.
So you didn't start working until 1960, did you say?
Yes, 1960 I got a job at the infirmary.
But you came in
was
1958.
58.
So that's quite a long time.
Quite a long time. You couldn't get no work.
Why do you think that was? Was it because you weren't qualified, or was it another reason?
Well, I don't know with the qualification, but there was jobs going, but there were no vacancies, you know. And in those days, I would say that, well, if you have got a qualification really, but I came here was to do nursing. But I just, when the time came for me to could get in, I took ill, so I had was to, you know, just leave it aside. But I still continue doing, you know, my own work, such as sewing, because I used to sew. I was a dressmaker, so I do my sewing and such like. Yeah.
So you learnt the sewing back in Jamaica,
Huh?
I presume? You learnt sewing?
Yes, yes, yes.
Was that at school, or was it from your mum learning it?
Well, my mom doesn't sew, but my sister, they're a dressmaker, so I learn from them. And when I came to Kingston, I went to a dressmaking shop, and then I learned more, advanced more. And when I came here again, I go to college and get into the, to the pattern, yes, and do many things at the college. I go soft furnishing and all those things, flowers arrangement. I just like to keep myself busy. Yeah.
So you came to England, you were about 27 at the time?
That's 26.
26 at the time. And you said you came on the 16th of April.
Yes.
Is that right? Do you remember the journey well?
The journey was quite good, but there was a time we had some rough time in the night on the sea, because the cabin where 4 of us as ladies were, and believe me, my friend, she was on top of the bunk bed, and she had to came down and slept with me down on my bed, because the ship was just rocking, and we were so afraid that I got up and I went outside, and there was the one of the mate captain was going around, because it was so bad, to encourage people, and I says to him, "Are we going through the Gulf of Mexico?" He said, "Oh no, we don't travel the Gulf of Mexico anymore, but we are meeting on some rough waters, but we will soon eventually get out of it." And all my colleagues that was in the cabin with me, 4 of us, they were so sick, and I was the only one that was standing to give them a cup of tea and to bring something for them. And why? I will tell you what happened. Before I left Jamaica, there was a man, and I went to see my mother to say bye-bye. And this man, he was a man that he travels all around the world and sea. So he said to me, "Whenever you goes on the water, do 3 days journey, drink some of the sea water, and you will never sick." So when I did 3 days journey, I got a glass and I went down and I got some seawater and I drank some. I took some into the cabin and I said to my colleagues, "Drink some of this." They said, "Oh no. And they wouldn't drink it. And then I drank some of the water, and I was the only one that didn't sick. Yes.
Right, so that's it.
Yes. So it was really a great experience. When they saw me was so strong and nothing wrong, they said to me, "Oh, please go and get me some seawater," but it was too late. So from then we have a nice, voyage straight to Southampton. Yes.
So you were travelling with friends, did you say?
Yes, I traveled with my with a friend of mine. My husband, nephew's wife. We were traveling together. Yes.
So was your husband with you?
Oh no, he came here from 1957.
Oh right. So
yes, he came September, and he sent for me in April. Yes.
So when you landed in Southampton, what were your first thoughts?
Well, the first thing, when I came off the boat, and then we took the train to come into Wolverhampton, and as I came out on the deck, I started to sneeze. And I said to my friend, and I was cold, because in April it was still cold. So I said to my friend, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to like it here." She said, "Why?" "Oh, it's too cold." So when we reached on the train coming home, and when I look all around, coming up and see the I didn't know there were houses. I said to her, "Oh, we are going to get lots of jobs, because look, so many factories." And it's when I reach home now, I realized there were houses, So, and the environment, what I was expecting of England, I didn't see, really, I was looking for a more beautiful place and things like that, you see. But when I came first, it wasn't my expectation, but I stayed and grew to learn. Yeah.
So did you actually come to stay, or did you come to stay for maybe a few years and then go back? What was
Well, our desire was to come and stay for about 5 years, you know, but because of situation with jobs and everything, we couldn't, we got to change that thought. But as time goes on, we were really planning to go back home.
Yeah.
But it so happens that when I get into the church and so on, we just change, and we are here until now.
Right.
Yeah.
So where did you first live then? What was your housing like?
We were living, my husband were living at E-Town, no, Wensfield in E-Town, near E-Town. And it was a lovely home where we were living. And it so happens that we left from E-Town and we go to Blakenhall Garden. And we rented a room there. And we stayed there. We rented another room. We move on until we eventually put in for a council house because I had my first boy, you know.
Okay, right. So you moved house. You were saying.
Yes, we moved. When I had my lad, one there, and we were living into a room, one apartment, and then we put in for to the council for a house, and then we got a key, and we got 3-bedroom flat up Blakenhall Garden, Blakenhall, and it was a beautiful flat, and we were so happy, and we lived there for 7 years. There was some neighbors above us, and they started to have these night parties, and there it really go against me. I couldn't take it with my head, nerves and things, so I went to the doctor and he said I have to move from there. I need a house where I can get more fresh air and garden too, so on. So I write down back to the council, my husband, and then we got a house at Kent Road in Parkfields, and eventually we lived there, and we bought it. We lived there for 22 years, and it was a beautiful house, fixed it up quite nice, and we were happy then. My lad grew up there. He passed his 11 plus, went to grammar school, and then we were there until we had some neighbors. Those people that were living there were elderly. One died and the other one removed, and 2 youngsters came there, and they really were neighbors from hell. So we put the house up to sale, and then we heard about this compound, Barrett's. So they bought it off us, and then we got this. We were only here for 1 year. Yes.
So, you seem to have had a good experience in the houses and the accommodation that you've had over the years.
Yes, some good, some bad. Yes. Yes.
You said you were living in, you had to rent a room before.
Oh yes, it was pure rent rooms before we go to Kent Road. Yeah.
Did you rent them from, was it English people, white people, or was it Asian?
Well, the rooms that we rented is from West Indian. Yes, Jamaican. Yeah.
So did you have any problems with white people when you actually came to England in regards to racism?
Well, in some respect, especially when you go after a job, you know, there was racism is there because sometimes the jobs are there, but because of your color, they, you know, they wouldn't give you the job. But and in different environments, you will meet English people that you will really see that they are racist, you know, but you just look over these things and carry on. But there are some that is very, very nice people to get on with. And in every race, I put it down, especially when you are a Christian, you got to undergo a lot of things. Because in every race, you have good and bad. But I try to live. Is the phone, you know, because I take it off.
Probably just put it back on.
Yes, you try to live among everybody, you know, because I live among English folks and we get on fairly well. Yeah.
So, what type of experience did you have with those who were racist towards you? What things did they say or do?
Well, they will ignore you, you know, and some of them will call your names.
Such as?
Blackie and things like that. But and sometimes when I didn't get saved yet, you will get back on them, you know.
What would you do then?
You'll get back on them and tell them off, you know. But from since I got saved, when you meet upon people like those, you just ignore them. Yes.
So how did you feel when you did actually suffer?
Feel bad. You felt like there are times you feel like you would, if you could fly back where you come from, you would go. But you have to just endure hardship as a good soldier. Yeah.
Well, you said you were saved afterwards, and that helped you to cope with the racism.
Oh yes, because I mean, when you read the Word of God, you got to put up with a lot of things, you know, and you easily forgive people. Yeah.
Do you feel then, you were talking earlier that you had a religious upbringing in Jamaica, and there are lots of black people in Jamaica brought up religiously. Do you feel that Britain or British people have the same kind of religion, same kind of religious commitment?
You mean to with themselves? You mean English in
English?
English.
Do you feel that they are a Christian country?
Well, not all of them. You'll find some, but not all of them, because I've spoken to a lot, invited them to church and all that, and some of them even want to say that if there was God, how little children and people suffer. But I said, God is a good God and is a loving God. It's a sin that is in human being. Because God hates sin. So when we sin, we have to suffer. Because even when he was on earth, put on flesh, he suffered because he died for us. But you'll find some English folks, you know, they will go to church and some won't. But you'll find the West Indian environment, there are people that love church, and some of them still won't go to church. But when you go into them, encourages them, tell them about the Lord, then they will go to church and give their heart to the Lord. You see.
So, if I asked you, would you say that West Indian or Asian communities, are they more religious?
Yeah, more godly, yes. I would say that.
What benefits would you say that religion has then for children?
The children?
When you bring them up in a
they grow up good, godly, and as I said before, things that they will see other children do, you know, such as commit crimes and drugs and all those things. When you grow them up in the church And when they really stays in the church, they keep away from those things, you know.
So how many children do you have?
Well, I've got one alive.
Wow.
I've got a few miscarriages, you know, but I've got one son alive and a girl in Canada.
So did you bring them up in England?
My son born here,
Yeah.
and the girl in Jamaica, you know, we used to send her to Sunday school and so on, but she take our studies and thing in Jamaica because she was the oldest one. And then she passed out all her exams, and then she's working as a hostess, you know, in the plane.
Okay.
So, but my son was born here, yeah, so he get all his training, yeah, and he grows up in the church. Now he's 35, and he's a minister of religion. He plays for the church, you know, so he don't know nothing outside the world there to you know, to involve himself in, because he grows up, you know, as a godly child.
So are you saying that you actually kept him away from influences within this country? Bad influences?
Bad influences, and other young folks, young children.
How did you do that?
Because we get them, they come to Sunday school, we teach them the Word of God, we have classes with them and tell them in how they are supposed to grow up, good girls, good boys, what they're supposed to keep themselves from, and things like that. We read the Bible to them, we prayed with them, you know, and give them good counsel, so they grow up until when they are convicted, you know, they give their heart to the Lord by baptize, and then we believe in the infilling of the Holy Ghost in our church, and then when you have the Holy Ghost, it directs you, it teaches you how to walk right, because in our church we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't go to parties, and nothing that is worldly. And he grows up the same way. He got married, and a girl from one of the other branches, same church, and he have 3 children. They are the one, they will soon be here. Yes, so when you grow them up, you know, you have many parents, I would say, they try to grow up their kids, but when they go to school and meet with other bad children, you know, they influence them. But it's not all. When you try to really keep your eyes on them and see that things that they don't supposed to do, and you get down with them, well, they really stick to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel that the next generation of like you's, my generation basically, would you say that we have the same commitment to religion or spirituality as your generation do?
Well,
you brought up in England.
Well, some of them, I think they will, while some won't, because you have got, as I said, in the churches, different, you know, groups of young people. In our church, we have got 3 groups there. You have got the women's department, you have got the brotherhood department, you have got the youth department, and thousands of them, especially when we have got convention. They have got a special day where they will minister the word and sing and do all kind of different things in the church. So we are depending on them in those generations coming up, that they will continue. You know, the Bible says we must teach our children. So as I said, when I teach mine, he teaches theirs. If they grow up in it, they will continue. So you will find some will and some won't.
Is it less now than it would be if they were back in Jamaica? Do you feel that there would be more religious in Jamaica, the next generation?
Well, I wouldn't say that, because wherever a person is, if you have got a mind, whether Jamaica or here, you know, to be good, you will be good. Because there are lots in Jamaica not good. There are lots in other countries still not good. And some are here are good. So you'll find it like that. Yeah.
So looking back on when your son was at school, can you remember, or do you know of any incidences where your son suffered any racism?
He does at times, especially when he started the grammar school here. You look at this, is 600 of them, and at the time he was the only black.
That's Wolverhampton?
Yes, for Wolverhampton Grammar School, and he always meet and some of them that really take the mickey out of him. Because sometimes I have to go down to the headmaster, you know, and have a word with him pertaining, and when he talked to the classes, I think just go. Yeah.
Did you have to go down there many times?
Oh no. I've only been down to see the headmaster one time. And the one time I go, it carries everything. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So what happened to your son that you had to go down?
Well, there was one in his class, there was one of the whites calling him, you know, blackie and bastard and all that. So he didn't like it. So he came home and told me about it, and he was really discouraged and feeling down. So I went down to the headmaster that it is not right, and I let him know that he born here. You understand? So he have right here, just like the white. And I don't want to hear these things because we are all God's children. Yes, so he went and fixed it right. And he was there until he passed his O levels and his A levels, and till he goes to university, to other classes. So that's how it goes. Yes.
So there was a problem, and then you went down. So
that's right, and it's sorted out.
Ended there.
It ended there. Yeah.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about your witnessing in church. You said before that you talk to white people about religion. Oh
yes, even since I came here, I've been telling them about the Lord, and well, my next door neighbor, they're two lovely people, two lovely neighbors, and I was inviting the children to Sunday school. Well, she told me that they're already going to Sunday school, you know. So I'm still hoping that one day they will pay us a visit. But they are going to Sunday school, and they are beautiful neighbors, really lovely neighbors. Yeah, because it's one thing with us black people, we must realize, you know, that we are in English people's country, and we got to realize we got to put up with things, and we got to cooperate, and we got to, the same way that we would like them to treat us, we have to show the same to them. Do you believe that? Yeah. Because it takes two, you understand, to really make a happy place.
Right. England is, let's say, basically a Christian country. It has a Christian background. In schools now, you know that they teach about other religions as well. Do you think that's a good idea, that they should actually incorporate other religions, or should people who are coming in, like ethnic minorities, black and Asian, should they take on the Christian religion of the host country of England?
I don't understand you. You mean different religion?
Is it right that in the schools they teach about different religions? It's not just Christian now, it's Islam, Hinduism, Muslim. They teach about all those kind of religions as well in schools. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, I don't think it's a good idea, because it involves many children to what they don't believe in. Because take for instance, if I try to tell my child he's in into a church, a Pentecostal church, which I know that is the pillar and ground of the truth in the Bible. That was the church, the disciples, when Jesus was here, they continued steadfastly, and that is the church we belong to. And going to school, and they're teaching them now about Muslim and different things is not right. Because some of the children, when they try to get it into them, if they don't understand, they will believe and go over to them. So I don't think they should teach them those different religion in school. What they should have done, read the Bible to them, but I made to understand they don't read Bible anymore in school. Or tell them about God in school. When I used to go to school, we have to read Bible. Yeah. Say our grace and all those things. And they don't tell you about religion and different things in school. They only teaches you the educational background. You understand? They teaches you religious background, but not in those situations such as Muslim and things like those. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that the idea is that if they teach children about other religions or other beliefs, it will help when it comes to racism to actually keep those levels down.
Yes.
I believe that's why they actually teach it in school, so that people can have a better understanding of other people's religions.
Well, depends how they teaches it. Because suppose they teaches it says, well, the Muslim, our children we don't believe in Muslim. And if they depends how they teaches it. Because if they are teaching it says, well, they don't believe it is a good religion. You understand? But if they're going to teach it and said it is a good religion for them to go in and to get themselves involved in, I don't think it's right.
Okay. So you believe that children in England should only be taught about the Christian religion?
That's right, because it's only one way. I believe in that. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth and the life. And I only believe in one way. Yeah. The Muslim, they'll believe in God. They worship their own God. Muhammad. And I worship God. The one true God. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you try to teach your children and teach them about God, one true God, and they're going to telling you about Muslim and Muhammad is God, those things is wrong. You understand?
Okay, let me ask you about, you've been in Wolverhampton now for how long?
42 years.
42 years, it's a long time.
It is a long time.
Did you come to Wolverhampton because this is where your husband was?
Yes.
Do you know why he came here?
Because his family were here that sent for him to stop there with them. Yeah.
Right. Did you ever consider moving anywhere else at all?
From Wolverhampton? No. I love Wolverhampton.
Why?
Because I take Wolverhampton just like how I leave Jamaica. It's like my home. I have lots of friends and people that I'm acquainted with. And whenever I go out from Wolverhampton, a day trip, holiday, whenever I come back into Wolverhampton, I just say, well, I'm home. Yeah, I just love Wolverhampton. The reason for that, I came here, and I was right here. I just love Wolverhampton. Of which I could have gone to London. I was invited to go to London, but I went to London, visit London, and I just don't like down there. I just love Wolverhampton. I don't love Birmingham to live. I don't love West Bromwich to live. I just love Wolverhampton, Bilston here. Yeah.
Why is that? Can you actually explain why?
Yes, because as I told you that, because I spent such a long time here, and the environment, the people, everything, I just love it in Wolverhampton. Yeah.
So when you first came to Wolverhampton, then coming from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Apart from the cold.
Yeah.
Adjust to that.
Yeah.
What other changes were there that you had to adjust to from living in Jamaica to coming here?
The changes in homes and in the buses, many things.
In the buses, what do you mean?
Yes, well, in the buses, we didn't, to be truthful, in Jamaica, you just go and stand there and go in the bus. But here, you can't break the queue. You got to go to that back there. It doesn't matter it's cold.
Yeah.
You got to wait until the back. And if you dare break that queue, that is the time they will get the strap on you if they go. So there was a lot of, you get to understand and you knows. So you get into it, And there's a lot of changes because when I came here, the houses wasn't nice, and things wasn't nice. Just whole houses, and when I say that, and especially, most of the I'm a person love to see nice curtains and all those things. We used to that in Jamaica when you came here. You want to see those things, so it makes you. I said, when I came here and heard about England from a child, I used to say, oh, England must be a beautiful place. It's just like gold to walk on. Yeah. But when I came, it was something different, But you get into the environment, and I want to tell you that many of us immigrants that came to this country, the English, they learn a lot of us. A lot of us. They told me that. Yeah. Yes, even in lovely curtains, even in weddings, they said, you people really open up our eyes to a lot of things that we didn't know, because they used to hire coat suits and married in, while Jamaicans, we wear beautiful robes, dresses and veils. Even with the cars, they said it's something new to them, because the West Indians, when they are having a wedding, they have got beautiful cars and they put ribbons around it, and they said that thrills them until they are doing it now. So there's a lot of things that they grasp onto us, even in the hospitals. When I came here and going to the hospital looking a job, I have to have my handkerchief over my nose. Honestly, the way it smells. And since they start to employ, West Indian people, work in the kitchen and things like that, things are clean and nice. You see, so it's a lot of things that they learn from us. They talk with me, some of them, and they told me they learn a lot. Yeah, they learn a lot. Even since I came here, I am a woman love flowers, and I was the first one who planted flowers. And my neighbor said, oh, and she goes and she bought flowers, and I bought her some. And one of the workmen says to me, whenever I'm passing here, everybody's looking at your garden. So it's something that people, you find how everybody's planting flowers. It's something that people really grabs into you. But as I said to you, that in every nomination, in every race, you have good and bad. Because honestly, you have got some immigrants that live among English people that they are really disturbing even to myself. So that is why sometimes I got to really go against black people. Because take for instance, they will have night parties, some of them till daylight, disturbing the people, and they don't accustom to it. You have to give right where right belongs. Some of them really disgusting, and bring all these things on English people to curse them and said, if we didn't come here with these things, it wouldn't have happened. So, but you have got decent people that really don't do it. You understand? Because I don't do those things, and many more don't do those things. So that is how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Did you find, did you have to change much in your diet when you came to England? Did you find that what you ate, there's
Oh my
a
God.
lot of different... Alright, yes, did you have to change your diet when you came to England? And the food that you ate?
Well, in certain instances that we have to, because the things that we used to have in Jamaica, when I just came here, you couldn't get it until afterward. You find people, they imported different things from the West Indies, you know. But changing the diet didn't bother me that much, because you know, you just get into things that you would like, and then you have it, you know, until when you can get Jamaican stuff that you love from home. And most of the things that I used to have in Jamaica, I don't bother with them. I just stick to the English environment, you know, and diet and things like that. So it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah.
Do you feel that the English diet was or is better than the Jamaican diet? Would you say there's much?
Not really, because in Jamaica you can get everything fresh. You pick oranges off the tree. You can grow up your own animals and kill them. The meat is so lovely and nice. Even your own oil. You can boil down your own coconut oil, and the food is so refreshing. You go to sea, you catch your fish and things like that. Everything is fresh. So you find it in the West Indies, the meal and the diet is much better than here, because most of the things here, you have to have them frozen, you know. And when you get fresh things, and that is why most of us are so ill, because of the food.
Okay, so Jamaican diet much better than English
Oh yes,
diet,
oh yes,
fresher.
because it is fresh. Fresh.
Okay, would you say then that there were, what are the benefits, or what were the benefits for you coming to England rather than staying in Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica is a poor country, and what everybody learned, that here you can make a better life, get jobs, and you make a better life. And that is the reason why most foreigners are here. Yeah. And of course, as time goes by, you know, it becomes, at the starting point, it was rough, but as time goes by, it's better. It's better. Yeah. Yes, everybody afterward get good jobs and buy the homes and cars and things like that. Yes, it becomes a land of plenty for the foreigners, so it is better.
So
yes.
You don't regret coming.
We don't regret coming here at all. Don't regret coming here.
So you've been here for 42 years.
42 years,
You must
yeah.
have seen a lot of changes then.
Oh yeah, a lot of changes, yes. A lot of changes has been done. Yes. We go through the rough, we come through, and the things becomes better.
A lot of changes in the actual town of Wolverhampton, or
Yes,
city of Wolverhampton.
yes, because they're building up the places quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What was it actually like then to look at when you first came here?
Well, it wasn't to me, it wasn't something nice to look at, because as I said, what I was expecting, you understand, to even with the houses, because it's the first I have seen houses make together. You know, terrace houses.
Yeah.
It's the first I've seen them since I came here. So I call them factories. I didn't know they were houses until when I realized in Jamaica you have beautiful homes, just like how you see these. Beautiful homes, gardens, and things like that. So what I was looking for when I just came here, I didn't see it. But as time goes on, it is changes. A lot of changes. Yes, it's better now. Yeah. Yeah. You don't feel like going back home now. Yeah.
Have you ever been back?
I've been back 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've never been tempted to say, well,
No,
let me
no,
stay here?
no, no. I always want to come back to Wolverhampton.
So this is your
Yeah.
final resting
Yes,
place.
that's right. That's right. Yes.
You mentioned before that you like the people and the place in Wolverhampton.
Yes.
That's one of the things that you enjoy.
Oh yes, got a lot of friends and so, and we get on fairly well. I get on with people very well.
Good.
Yes.
And you say that the black people have contributed a lot to England by teaching them about what hygiene and.
Yes, that's right. Plenty hygiene.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When I came here, believe me, when they used to drop bread at the English folks' doorway, pure bread, don't even wrap. Yeah, cat and thing must wee and those things. They used to wrap fish and chips in newspaper, and we let them know that newspaper is dirty, and still they start to get the white paper to wrap them in, and still they start to leave the bread at people's doorway, because I say those things is not hygiene. So there's a lot of things they have grafted from West Indian. Yes, yeah, a lot of things. Yes, even when you go to the hospital or different places, they wouldn't wash the cup properly with soap. They just shake it, and the West Indians, they see to it washed with soap and dry properly. Yes, there's a lot of things they learn from us. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So you would say that black people have definitely made a positive contribution.
That's right, to this country.
To this country.
Yes.
All right.
In every way. Yes. They have made it.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. To wrap up now, I'll just ask you a final question. What are your hopes for the future for yourself then? For the rest of your time in England, what do you hope for in the future?
Well, all I hope for is to continue living a good, upright Christian life and be a blessing and help to the surrounding, to people, to the youngsters that is coming up, to teach them the way of the Lord so they can grow up, that their generation to come, it will be a better and a better England.
That's good.
Yes.
That's very good sentiments to end on there.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this interview this morning.
Okay.
And I hope all goes well with you in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
That's no problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.